Hello lovelies, welcome back to Lifestyle Chapter. If today is your first time seeing this channel, I would like you to please subscribe and give this video a thumbs up. If you're already here, I'm always happy to have you back. Today I'm going to share with you a simple but delicious recipe that you can make in no time. And this is the simple pasta recipe that I'm showing you right now. And this recipe, it is so easy to make. It is delicious. It has a lot of veggies. It depends which kind of veggies you want. You can use any kind of veggies. And this one, the protein that I'm using for it is the prawn or the shrimps. That is what I'm using for this recipe. So why don't you stay with me or stick with me to the end of the video to see how this was made. I hope you love and enjoy watching it. So lovelies, let's get started. So here I have my onions, which I'm going to slice into pieces. I'm going to slice everything up. I'm doing this diagonally, so you can do it any style you want. And to that, I will put everything in a bowl and set it aside. I have the other half where I'm continuing to slice as well. So I'll do this and then I'll add it to the other half that is sliced and then set it aside. And then move on to the next ingredient. So with the next ingredient, I have my green bell pepper, half of it. I'm using the half of green bell pepper, which I'm also slicing it. I'm giving it strips. So as you can see, I'm cutting it in strips. And then I will add that to the other vegetables that I've cut. So here what I'm trying to do is to prep all the vegetables that I'm going to use for this recipe. It makes it more easier and faster when you get everything set and done. It makes cooking so easy. So that is what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm done with the green bell peppers. I'm going to move on to the yellow bell peppers. It looks like I'm using the colorful bell peppers for this recipe to give it that attractiveness, and that is what I want to achieve. So this is the yellow bell pepper that I'm using, and like I said before, you can use any vegetable of choice for this recipe and you will love it. So I'm done with that. I'm putting that also into a plate. And here is my red bell peppers that I'm going to slice as well in the same style that I cut all the vegetables. I believe you saw from the beginning, it looks like they are all in strips. You can also do them in any style that you want and then you'll be good. So here, that is what I'm doing right now. I'm cutting everything into strips. And then I'll add it up to the rest of the colorful bell peppers. Now I have my ginger, my fresh ginger, about a thumb size of ginger. That's what I'm using. I want some spiciness in the recipe I'm making, so I'm adding some ginger, which I'm going to cut into tiny pieces. So that is what I'm working on now. As you can see, I'm crushing them into tiny pieces. In there, I don't want it to be blended because I want that texture in the recipe. So I decided to cut it into tiny pieces, which makes it more nicer and more easier. So I'm all done. I'm going to set that also aside on the plate. And the next ingredient here is my fresh garlic, which you can see I'm crushing it using my knife. It is so interesting when doing this. I love it. So I'm crushing all the garlic, and then I will chop them into tiny pieces as well. So here I'm all done with that as well. I'm going to put that also into a clean plate. So you see, I have quite of ingredients to prep before this recipe, but I tell you, it doesn't even take longer to get all these done. And here I have my fresh parsley, which I'm going to use as a garnish for the pasta recipe. So I'm chopping that into pieces as well. And I'll add it onto the plate as well. Yes, the next ingredient here is my cabbage. I'm using a small size cabbage, but I'm using half of that small size cabbage for this. So I'm going to slice it into tiny strips so it can cook faster. So that is what I'm trying to achieve here. I'm getting this ready. So still on it, getting all the cabbage chopped or sliced, and here you are. Cabbage is all done. I'll set that aside. And so lovelies, this is how our ingredients are prepped, ready for the recipe to be started. And before that, I had my pot on fire with some water because I'm going to boil my spaghetti. So to that, I've added some salt and I drizzled in some olive oil, and now I have added in the pasta or the spaghetti, which I'm going to cook it. Here I have my protein, that is the shrimp that I'm using for this recipe. I have my protein, that is the shrimp, which I'm seasoning with some salt, and I've added in some hot chili powder, and also I've added in some black pepper, and I'm sprinkling on it a garlic powder. So this will be the spices, and also I have my Old Bay pepper seasoning that I've added to it. So I'm going to stir everything nicely together to marinate on the shrimp to give it the taste. And that is what I'll be using for this recipe. That is a protein as well for this recipe. So I have my pan ready on fire, which I'm drizzling in some extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to allow it to heat up, and then I will add in my shrimp, which is seasoned. I'm going to fry or saute the shrimp until it turns orange. It's so easy for you to know when shrimp is cooked, because before you cook a shrimp, the color changes. So it makes it so easier for you to know when a shrimp is cooked, and it always turns orange when it is. So I'm going to stir it to saute it. It is just going to take some few minutes. It doesn't take long to get it done. So I'm just stirring it nicely up, giving it a quick stir to make sure it's all cooked well, which will cook for about 2 to 3 minutes. So I use my spatula to turn it upside down to make sure every part of the shrimp is cooked or fried. So now our shrimp is all done. I'm taking that out of the pan into a bowl that I'm going to set aside. And to that, I'm going to add in my ginger and garlic, crushed ginger and garlic. And then I'll stir it. I'll give it a quick stir because garlic burns easily. So you make sure you stir it, you don't leave it in. You keep on stirring until it's fried to your preference. And then to that, I'll add back in the pan my shrimp, and I'll stir everything up together. Whilst at that, I'll check on my spaghetti, which is all done. The spaghetti is all cooked and it's ready to be used. So I'll go ahead and take some and put into the stir fry into the pan. That is what I'm doing right now. I'm just adding on the spaghetti into the shrimp in the pan. This recipe is so easy to make, lovelies. You don't need to take a longer time at all to get it done. And to that, I'm just adding in the onions. At this time, I'm going to add in all the ingredients. You don't even need any time to do that. You just put everything in together. So I've added in the colorful bell peppers, and also I forgot to show you the carrots, which was also sliced, and that I have my cabbage added as well. So here I'm going to stir everything up nicely together to make sure everything combines well. That is all there is to it here, to make sure the spaghetti and the vegetables are well combined. So here you take your time to do this gently so you don't splash your vegetables into the fire. You do it nice and gentle. And to that, I'm adding in my Italian sauce, some Italian sauce. So I first of all added in about half bottle of the Italian sauce. I'll put the measurement of it in the description box down below. So that is what I'm using to stir everything up. So I've already put in about half of it. I'm stirring it to make sure everything gets even. So here, all that you need is to give it a gentle stir. While at it, you have to make sure you turn your heat from high to medium to prevent it from burning in the bottom. So all you have to do now is to keep on stirring to make sure the sauce is mixed well. And here I'm going to add the other half of it. And this is it. I'm using the Prego roasted garlic herb. It is very delicious to use or to make your food with or your recipes with. I really love it. Sometimes when I feel so lazy to start from the scratch making my own sauce, I just get that and I'm through. So that is what I'm using. You can find it at any store around you or any supermarket around you. So I'm continuously stirring everything up. And lovelies, we are almost done. And what I did is I garnished it with some parsley, as you can see in the pasta recipe, and it's looking so beautiful and attractive. So lovelies, this is our shrimp pasta recipe, a simple recipe that I believe you will love to try. So why don't you give it a try? And if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up and share. Don't forget to subscribe as well. So I'm dishing it out into a plate. I can't wait to taste and enjoy it. And the aroma here is so wonderful. You should be here to smell it. Anyways, you are all invited. I hope you try this and you let me know if you do. So when I finished making this recipe, my family members were just rushing for it, and then they started going straight with it. So lovelies, this is how it's looking, and it is super delicious. I hope you try this recipe. Thank you so much for watching and also liking the video. I hope to see you in my next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.